Yo, I'm about to show you 10 cards that I do not see talked about enough in Commander, and they're all under $1. I'm Jordan, your host, and this is the EDH Jank Center, your source for everything Commander and everything Jank. And if you're new to the channel, you should know that I love to highlight budget, janky, or underutilized cards, and pretty much all the cards in my list tend to fit one of, if not all three of these descriptors. Alright, let's get into it. First up, let's take a look at Lazotech Plating, 1 in a blue instant from War of the Spark. It has a mass 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. You and they can't be the targets of spells or abilities your opponents control. So I had not seen this card until it was mentioned in my Discord, which is now public. You should join it at the link in the description, and I freaked. 2 mana instant speed for granting all of our permanents and ourselves hexproof until end of turn? Yes, absolutely, affirmative. I'm putting this in every blue deck. And on top of that, we get some cheeky amass synergy, which just became even more relevant now with all the new support in the Lord of the Rings set. With tons of ways to snag instants back from the grave in blue, this card can easily be cast and recast, and the value is just schmackin'. 10 out of 10. All right, next up, let's check out Skyfisher Spider, 2 black-green creature spider from the Brothers' War. It has reach. When Skyfisher Spider enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent. When Skyfisher Spider dies, you may gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard. If you do, exile Skyfisher Spider from your graveyard, and it's a 3/3. So this is a fun little guy who, upon entering, allows us to sack a creature in exchange for sniping a non-land permanent. In decks with sack fodder at the ready, this is a fun and unique piece of removal. The life gain ability is not half bad either, especially for graveyard decks that want to sacrifice and recur stuff. And it has some cheeky spider synergy for, oh no. Shelob? Oh no. I'm a bad nerd. I literally can't remember how to pronounce it. Anyways, this spider commander from the Lord of the Rings set. Let's move on. Now let's check out Sandwell Avenger Ace, 1 in a white legendary creature human pilot from the Brothers' War commander. As long as an artifact creature you control is attacking, prevent all damage that will be dealt to Sandwell Avenger Ace. Whenever Sandwell becomes tapped, exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a vehicle or artifact creature spell from among them, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and it's a 3/1. This card does work, whether it's in the 99 or the commander of a deck itself. For 2 mana, we can get a 3/1 attacker that, as long as it has a companion to attack with, we won't ever have to worry about it dying in combat. And whenever it becomes tapped, so it doesn't even have to attack to trigger this ability, by the way, we can loot for a vehicle or artifact and cast it. In a game in my Discord, one of my members ran this card, and I was informed that this ability also ignores timing restrictions, so you could cast sorceries off this ability, for example, if you had the mana to do so. Check me in the comments if this isn't true, but I'm pretty sure it is. Anyways, all this Sandwell talk has me wanting to build it real bad, but we don't have time for that, so let's move on. To Riot Control, 2 in a white instant from Dragon's Maze. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. This is a pretty simple effect here, guys. I love fog effects, and this is one of my favorites. We get a fog effect, but we also get life gain, which has obvious synergies. Can you imagine casting this in a Treebeard deck with a battlefield full of creatures? Insane. That's really all I have to say, so let's move on to the next, which is Filter Out, 1 blue instant from March of the Machine Aftermath. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So we haven't really talked about March of the Machine Aftermath on this channel, but I really dig this card from that small little set. At instant speed, we can get rid of all that pesky equipment, all those stupid enchantments, and even all those silly planeswalkers if your friends are heathens and play Super Friends. All for 3 mana and less than 50 cents at the time of making this video, at least. Seems pretty decent to me. Let's get into our next card, which is also our most expensive card of the day. It's Outmaneuver X in a red instant from Urza's Saga. X target blocked creatures deal combat damage to defending player instead of to blocking creatures this turn. Now, I gotta give a shout out to EDH Deck Building, one of my main inspirations. Demo is incredible. You guys should go check out his channel if you already don't. Now, I first saw this card on his channel, and the first thing I thought of was, if we have a gigantic creature that's getting blocked, we can cast this for just 2 mana and have our damage go straight through. It's super sweet for Voltron decks or any deck in red that's running heavy hitters like dragons. It's got utility and versatility, and it's still under $1. Let's absolutely get it, dude. And let's get into a pet card of mine, Stone Speaker Crystal, 4 colorless mana artifact from Commander Legends, Battle for Baldur's Gate. You can tap it to add 2 colorless mana, you can pay 2 and tap it to sacrifice it, exile any number of target players' graveyards, draw a card. Well. Looks like Baldur's Gate came through with another cheeky banger. As you well know on this channel, I love stuff that does stuff. Crystal is a mana rock that helps us ramp, but it also hates our opponent's graveyards and draws us a card. All that value for 14 cents. I literally am loving it, not in like a McDonald's corporate way, just like regular love. Anyways, let's talk about a card from the original D&D set, Eye of Vecna. 2 colorless mana legendary artifact from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. When Eye of Vecna enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. Stranger Things, anyone? That show is so good. Anyways, this card is another slept on D&D card. On entering, we get card draw, life loss is fine in Commander Kiddos, use it as a resource, and then just for 2 mana, we can repeat that every turn, and if we're hitting lands and ramping, we'll have no problem paying for that. And if you are really worried about life loss, there's tons of life gain throughout the format, so chill. And also, if you can manage to blink it regularly, you don't even have to pay 2 extra mana. Alright, let's take a look at our second to last card of the day. It's Quirion Elves, 1 and a green creature elf from Invasion. As Quirion Elves comes into play, choose a color. You can tap it to add a green to your mana pool, or you can tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color to your mana pool, and it's a 1/1. Pretty simple tech here, guys. This is a mana dork, but it can tap for a mana of any color and green. So this is a perfect dork to run in 3, 4, and 5 color decks, where fixing your mana is super important and can be very expensive. Also, elf synergies, if you care about that. And just like that, guys, we're almost at the last card of the day, but before we get into it, let's talk about the Discord. The EDH Jank Center Discord is a public Discord of a bunch of people that love budget, janky, and underutilized cards. We talk about sets, spoilers, cards, budget brews, and anything and everything under the MTG sun. We also host monthly giveaways of fun MTG product every single month. Patrons of the channel get an additional entry in giveaways, but you do not need to be a patron to get in on the action. So if any of this sounds appealing to you, the link is in the description, and I'll see you in there. Alright, moving on to our last card of the day, which is Cut Ribbons. The first half of which is 1 and a red sorcery from Amonkhet. Well, they're both from Amonkhet, but you get what I mean. Cut deals 4 damage to target creature, and then if we rotate it, we can talk about Ribbons. X black sorcery. It has Aftermath. Cast this spell only from your graveyard, then exile it. Each opponent loses X life. So this is a card that was already pointed out to me a few weeks ago in the Discord, and I think it's super sick. It's already 2 cards in 1, which I love because your boy loves utility, but the Ribbons part of this card is essentially a win con. And if you have enough mana or it's late enough in the game, you can cast this and also potentially copy it if you're running that kind of stuff and close out the game. Nothing else needs to be said. I love this card. And before we knew it, we are at the end of yet another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you dug this content, make sure you smash that like button, give us a little subscription, and comment down below what cards under $1 do you think that I should cover next? Any favorites of yours that I missed? I'm always down there in the comments interacting with you guys, so come on down and have a chat with me. And if you feel so inclined, you should come join the Discord because it's very fun. If not, that's chill too. I'll just be mad at you forever. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.